with Dr. Linda Sandell, and she was interviewed by keynote speaker Dr. Christopher Evans as a pioneer in orthopedic research, which is pretty amazing. And I'm just going to let her talk a little bit about what that legacy means.
Back in the 80s, we were just beginning to discover growth factors like BMP. We were beginning to discover that TGF-beta was actually collagen induction factor. And so it was the very beginning of thinking about how you would manipulate cells with these growth factors. Also at the same time, we just began to learn how to sequence DNA. And sequencing DNA was the most exciting thing to me when I was a postdoc, and that's where it all began.
Wow. And what have you seen change throughout the years in the field of orthopedic surgery?
Well, a huge amount has changed, but a lot has remained the same. We still have not been able to apply all these molecules in a very efficient way to creating new tissues. So one of the reasons that I think Dr. Huard and the Steadman Clinic wanted to have this meeting was to see if we can figure out how to move ahead on these ideas. One of the things that we talked about was actually trying to stop the development of osteoarthritis at the time of injury. As you may know, probably almost 20% of osteoarthritis comes from an injury, like a meniscal tear or an ACL tear. So if we could inhibit the things that happen at that moment, then it wouldn't go on to have ACL.
And how did you get...
Excuse me.
No, that's fine. And how did you get started yourself in this field? What drives you with this passion?
Well, I got started because of DNA, actually. DNA and its translation into proteins through the RNA molecule. I've always been interested in the regulation of gene expression. And even to this day, as we're inhibiting the events that happen at injury, we're doing it by inhibiting the RNA.
And let's talk a moment about the concept of diversity, being a woman and being a pioneer in this field. Have you seen things change over the years, and how do we encourage young women to take up science?
Well, there's a lot being done to encourage young women to take up science. There's a lot of work in STEM to encourage women in technological fields, which wasn't there when I first came in. But I think the molecular biology has been always very attractive to women. There's a lot of women in the developmental biology field, and over 50% of medical students are women now.
Wow.
The problem comes when you climb up the ladder.
I see. Interesting.
There's sort of a glass ceiling. Have we ever heard about that?
I may have heard about that. Well, thanks
but I haven't experienced that.
No, well, I think you've been shattering glass ceilings for a long time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.